The time is now to architect a life of excellence. What will we do? Who will we become? We decide today. This is Learn, Do, Become Radio with April and Eric Perry. Let's move onward and upward together.
Hello and welcome to Learn, Do, Become Radio. I'm April Perry, here with my husband Eric.
And I am Eric Perry, and we are just very glad to be with you on this podcast that we think will be actually a lot of fun, and we hope helpful to each of you.
So our topic today is the powerful productivity tip that's rarely discussed. And one of the things that really matters to us at Learn, Do, Become is not just being productive for the sake of being productive. We're not looking to just move faster and just get more things checked off our lists so we can just keep going faster and faster and building more and more. We actually believe there's a deeper meaning behind everything that we do.
Right. We want to be able to free up time and energy and space for us to be able to focus on the things that matter most to us.
And if you go to our website, learndobecome.com, and click on our Start Here button, you'll see that we've identified some of the main things that really capture what the Learn, Do, Become community is all about. So the 5 basic areas is that we're lifelong learners, we're action takers, growth-minded, family-centered, and believers in a higher power. So today, as we're talking about productivity, I'm actually going to just read our post to you. So it's just a very brief audio post. And then we're going to talk about it a little bit. And our hope is that as you listen and as you think about your own life and your own situation, that you will feel empowered and excited about moving forward each day, living your purpose and your mission.
Absolutely. And I would just say, I think April's a little bit nervous, before we got on the recording, because these are things that are important to us, and I think they're important to most people, but they really do center on helping us get to our relationships. The 2 areas that Learn to Become that are most important to us, at least to me, and I think April as well, are the ones that center on relationships, right? The relationships we have with our family, could be our spouse, our children, or however our family is defined. And it's also a relationship with God. We believe in God, and we hope that all of you do, however you may define or describe Him or that being. To be able to have that relationship and be guided by a higher, maybe a divine power, brings tremendous strength into our lives. And so as we go over this post, we hope it'll be helpful to you. We hope it'll resonate with a part of your soul that helps you to see things maybe a little bit more clearly, identify ways that we can change and the ways that we can grow to become closer in those relationships that we value.
All right. Thank you, Eric. So with that introduction, I will go ahead and read the post, The Powerful Productivity Tip That's Rarely Discussed. I want to share an idea with you today that adds a different perspective to productivity. It's not about how to make better lists or avoid distractions or utilize a new tool, though those are all important. It's about how we know if we're moving forward on the right things, in the right way, with the right support. Let's start with a little story. Several years ago, while at a family camp with Eric and the children, I somehow got it in my head that I could do the high ropes course. I am terrified of heights, and although I had attended that camp 6 or 7 times, I'd always opted to sit at the bottom of the course and take pictures of my friends. But that specific year, I told Eric, I'm doing the ropes course today. I'm not nursing, I'm not pregnant, and I'm not getting any younger. So I did. It was thrilling and scary, and I haven't done it since, but that experience taught me something incredibly powerful that I have thought about many times since. When preparing for the high ropes course, you put on your harness, helmet, and the little metal clippy things.
Is this a place where I get to add my commentary as we go through the reading? Is this why
What
I'm
called?
here? Hey, Zach, throw me one of those little metal clippy things. I'm getting this lady
remember what
hooked
they're
up.
called.
I believe the thing you're referring to is a carabiner.
Yes, that.
But they can also be referred to in technical climbing talk as the little metal clippy thing. So,
Okay.
Zach, metal clippy thing. Another one. Thank you.
I like that better. Then the guy at the base of the course secures you to the other end of the rope that he's holding. Before you even get 1 inch off the ground, your belayer says, "Talk to me." Now my mind went totally blank when he said this. Talk to you? What do you want to talk about? Isn't this an odd time to be talking?
And this is why I love my wife, because she's sitting there at the end of the rope at the bottom of this thing she's supposed to scale and move around high wires and then rappel down. And she's thinking, oh, talk amongst yourselves. Let's talk about butter. Your hands are like butter. Oh, and Barbara Streisand. Don't even get me started. I'm feeling verklempt. I'm a little verklempt here. No, this is not the time to be having a chit chat with your belay man. He just says, communicate with me. He wants to talk to you, not have a meaningful conversation over there over coffee.
You're so funny. Okay, so
I'm verklempt.
if anyone hasn't seen Saturday Night Live,
If you don't get the reference, you may not be part of this community. You may need to go look it up on the Google.
Then I remembered he wanted me to say the code words.
Secret code words.
Secret code words. On belay, I questioned him to make sure he was ready to support me. Belay on, he replied. That meant I could start climbing because we were on the same page. As I started to climb, I sometimes got to spots where I absolutely didn't think I could go any further. I called down to my husband and to the belayer. I can't get my foot into this groove. I'm not going to be able to do this. Then they encouraged me to move a little more to the right, to use my legs, to keep going. I noticed that as I lifted my leg as high as possible and pushed even a little, the belayer pretty much pulled me up. He didn't do it until he could see I was trying my best, but it was like I was being lifted to the top with relatively little effort of my own. The parallels? Ropes courses are great ways to learn about life, and in many ways a climb like that symbolizes our daily climb, the effort we apply to achieve our goals. The belayer supporting us is God. The rope is our connection to Him. Before we attempt to do anything significant in life, the Lord, in essence, says, "Talk to me." He wants us to ask for His counsel. He wants us to get on the same page as He is, to have our will become His. He doesn't want us to just do whatever we want. We might get hurt or lost. At those times in our lives when we are at a crossroads, or as I would suggest, each morning before we launch into our daily task list, we can carefully plan the course we are intending to follow and then ask, on belay? Then, if our plan looks good, He who knows everything, who will always be our support, who will never let us down, says, belay on. That is when we know we can proceed with confidence. When we come to a point in our journey when it just seems too hard to move forward, which happens every day for me, we can express those feelings to the Lord and He will give us encouragement, telling us where to put our feet and how to best use our strength. Then, when we give even a tiny bit of effort, He basically pulls us up. We simply can't do everything on our own, but He is there to carry us. I thought about these things the whole way up, and I felt so grateful that someone was watching out for me that day and throughout my life. After I had gone around on the high wires and walked through all the trees, I was preparing to rappel down. There was a lady next to me who was on her way up, just inches from the top. "I'm not strong enough," she said. "I'm not going to be able to do this." I called to her, "Just start to push a little bit, and He'll lift you the rest of the way." She did, and he did. It was the sweetest feeling to see her at the top. There's a higher power that wants us to succeed. He is here to help us every day. As we talk with Him, trust Him, do our best, let Him lift us and give Him thanks, He will continue to be our companion and our friend. He is so good. I can't say that enough because I am reminded of that every day. So yes, clean off your desk, get your emails to zero, create your lists, and process those paper piles. But let's make a commitment to each other that before all the doing, we check in and make sure we're doing the right things in the right way with the right support. On belay, belay on.
Belay on.
So do you want to add any commentary?
No, now I'm just a ridiculous sidekick to a powerful moment. No, I think it's a beautifully written piece. I think it reminds us that there is someone, however you define that person, that being, looking over you, looking out for you. And they want to help you have the most productive, the most effective day or life possible. They want you to be happy.
Well, and I think the reason why I even felt the desire to write this post or the desire to record this podcast is because that part of my experience when I saw that other woman who was climbing and she was right where I was and she wanted to give up, I knew exactly how she felt. And I know that there are people who are listening to this podcast right now who sometimes just think, I just want to give up. I'm not strong enough.
It's too
I
hard.
can't make
I'm
it.
alone. This is impossible.
Like you and I have felt that.
I think all human beings have. But I think the perspective in the story is that there are people around us, not just a higher power, but people around us who notice our needs, who care for us, who will tell us, you can do it. Just do this or just do this. And I think we take some of their inspired recommendations, their inspired counsel, and we do our very best. And that's when I think that pulling power, the lifting power comes from.
So at Learn to Become, we talk a lot about productivity. That's one of our main things that we do. We have our productivity program, our Steps to Everyday Productivity. We teach classes. We have a whole bunch of posts on the website to help you to be able to get your life and papers and processes in order, because I think that's important and I know that it can make a difference. But I just have felt like my main ministry or the main purpose behind the website is to help connect with you and help us all connect with a higher power on a much deeper level. I want to talk about specifics, with organization or ways to make our life better. But I think when we can combine that with this deep love for God and a deep love for our families and a willingness to think a little bit more about what we're actually doing each day, I think that just brings a whole nother level to it. And I just feel like that's kind of part of what we need to be doing more here. It
is. Well, I like the part in the essay that you wrote, just, 3 simple paragraphs that really do give a framework for how we go about planning, not just our days, but, one of the areas that I love to focus on at Learn to Become is life architecture. So as we lay out our life plans, that architecture for our lives, or our daily plans and activities and tasks, I like what it says here. At those times in our lives when we are at a crossroads, or as I would suggest, each morning before we launch into our daily task list, we can carefully plan the course we are intending to follow and then ask, en belay. Then if our plan looks good, he who knows everything, who will always be our support, who will never let us down, says belay on. That is when we know we can proceed with confidence. So I think any plan that we ourselves as mortal beings, humans, make up, it might be a good plan. But there might be a better way to optimize that plan, to get insight, to get guidance to a path or a way that we hadn't even thought of. And if we will rely on that source of power, that source of inspiration and truth, I will promise you, I think both of us can promise you that your course of life, the course that you'll follow that day, will be so much the better. And that's really what we're trying to help with this post and with a lot of the work that we do at Learn to Become, is to help us figure out the very best paths we can pursue as we go through life.
Thank you, Eric, for being here with me. It made it so much less scary. I feel like it was such a better experience than I thought it was going to be. I hope that this was helpful to you. I hope that this is something that can make your life better. We would love for you just to interact with us on the site. Leave a comment on this post and podcast. Come join us in some of our classes. Just engage with us.
Yeah, we'd love to hear your thoughts or ideas or experiences you've had in the past where you've seen some of this type of influence in your life where it has made the difference or made life better for you. We really just want to be a place where we learn from one another. Learn to Become, just as one kind of final point, Learn to Become is not a religious or denominational type post. It's a site. It's not a place where we get into politics and religion. We believe a lot of our lives can be governed by principles, universal, timeless principles that all people can live by and benefit from. So we would love to hear from each of our community members, regardless of your background, your religion, your political views. We want to learn from one another and become better and stronger for it. So we hope that you will engage and kind of add to that community.
Yes, so please, I look forward to hearing more from you. Thank you again for being with us. If you are thinking, wait, how do you get your emails to zero? How do you actually get your stuff organized? Come to our class. It's learndobecome.com/step. You can come and choose a time that will work for you and come participate with us. We'd love to have you there. Thank you for being with us and have a wonderful day.